A Star for Jeremy is not an animation that I had heard of until recently. I was looking on Letterboxd for things to watch, and this came up, and I thought it sounded quite sweet. The description from IMDb is as follows: a boy wishes on a Christmas star and finds out that his wish is granted. And I don't want to talk too much about that part of the narrative, but I do want to talk about the characters quite a bit. This was released in 1982, directed by Barry Mowat, written by Kevin Hyde, with a story from Allan J. House. And this is, as it says, about this little boy around Christmas time, and he asks his mother why they put a star on the Christmas tree. And we do have some kind of traditional Christmas elements in here. It gets a bit biblical at one point, which for me is obviously not something I have. I say obviously, I'm spiritual. It's not something I have a problem with. But I think that that aspect is always worth mentioning, because I know some people aren't religious and they just prefer Christmas films about, Santa or the gift of giving. But this focuses not so much on the little boy, but on this little star. And it's actually, I don't know if I was meant to find it funny, but the creator, as he is called, is getting everything ready for the stars to go in the night sky, and all the stars are waiting, and one of these stars, this beautiful little yellow star, I really like how it's animated, this star falls asleep. And he misses his cue, and all the stars are shining brightly in the night sky, and this star realizes that he's been left behind, and he has to go forward with his figurative tail between his legs and say, oops, I fell asleep, what should I do? And he is asked what he thinks his punishment should be. And he says quite somberly that he thinks he should be put as far away in the galaxy as possible, where nobody can see him shine. And my heart broke. And that's the character that I want to talk about the most. To be honest, I don't have that many thoughts about the actual narrative itself. I didn't think it was that engaging for me, but I think for a young viewer, it definitely could be. It's very thought-provoking. The character of the boy is perhaps relatable to young children watching it. But for me, it was the star that really made this fascinating. And I just found his attitude to be so admirable. The fact that he instantly admitted what had happened and held his hands up, or his pointy corners, and explained, I fell asleep, I've missed my cue, what do I do? He didn't just try and cover up or make an excuse or anything. He was just open and honest. And I thought that was really sweet and a really lovely kind of exemplary behaviour. And what happened after that I won't explain. I don't want to spoil it, but it was rather sweet and I really liked it. So the narrative became really interesting for me once the star came along. Before that, it was okay. It was quite sweet, quite enjoyable, kind of heartwarming. But once the star appeared, the star really is the star of this animation, and I rather liked it. So the narrative was interesting, but the character for me definitely made this from an interesting thing to a really fascinating animation. The style of animation I really like. It's pretty typical what I was expecting for a 1982 film. It's kind of soft and delicate for the most part, very easy on the eye, very pleasing to watch. If you like festive animations, A Star for Jeremy is one that I would recommend. As I said, I hadn't heard of it before. There are only 15 reviews and ratings on IMDb, so it's not the most popular. I'm not sure how many reviews of it there were on Letterboxd when I found it, but certainly if you do get the chance to see it, give it a watch. I was pleasantly surprised.